Hey guys, nothingwire.com, and today we have the LG G Pro 2 with us. Now the smartphone market has changed so rapidly that the manufacturer will have to be very swift to the change to be able to stay on top of the competition. Now they adopt various strategy, various cycle for their flagship. Now some companies adopt a yearly cycle like Apple for example. Then some adopt a 6-month cycle or slightly more than that, like for example the Xperia Z series from Sony. The Z, Z1 and Z2, they came out in really quick succession, just over 6 months. And then some other manufacturers actually adopt a slightly different strategy. For example, companies like LG and Samsung, they actually try to bring out two different kind of flagships aimed at different audiences. LG G Pro is one of that. Now with the G and the G Pro, they have created two separate kind of flagships aimed at a slightly separate audiences. So you have the LG G, and then you have the LG G Pro, LG G2, you now have the LG G Pro 2. The G3 is out. We might expect the G Pro 3 early next year probably. So they cycle these two flagships on a 6 months basis so that to be able to stay on top of the competition. Well, so coming back to the review, the G Pro 2 is one of the flagship from LG, as I told you just now, apart from the G2. That's the G Pro 2 is aimed at a more luxury kind of an audience who still want more from the G2, not necessarily in terms of the spec sheet and power, but then in terms of the design and size and everything else kind of. It's mainly G Pro 2 is a phablet is slightly bigger than the G2 for those who, for whom a big screen is a must. You have a very compact box for such a big screen device. It's a 5.9-inch device. That's quite a big, but then very nice cardboard box here, very hard, nicely wrapped around everything. On the back side you have some quick specs. You see a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor, 2.26 GHz quad core, Crate 400 CPU, you have 3 GB RAM, display 5.9-inch full HD true IPS display, and you have a 13 MP back camera with an optical image stabilization. That's a very important thing. You have a tracking, zoom and time machine camera and whatnot, multi-point autofocus, and 60 fps full HD at 120 fps that you can use as a very good slow motion video. Your dual recording, you also have a 2.2 MP front camera, supports DVX, another very good thing. 3200 mAh battery, which is a must in a phablet with such a big screen device. You have some other quick connection and function settings here. So let's quickly go ahead and show you the phone. So we open this and straight away we get the phone here. It actually is supposed to be dragged out from here, but we almost made a mess of the box. So that's your G Pro 2. It's a monster. It's very big. And then when you go inside, you'll get a pair of earphones. They're your premium in-ear type earphones, noise cancelling type. There, see, silver coated audio jack. You have your volume controls, see, mic and call control. That's good. So USB 2.0 port, and then you have your round pin wall adapter. It's a 1.8 ampere wall adapter, slightly smaller than someone like a Galaxy Note 3 adapter, which is a 2 ampere adapter. What does that mean? That means that this will charge the phone slightly slower than a 2 ampere or a 2.2 ampere adapter. You have the warranty cards and some quick start guide and all stuff. So that's about it, guys. That's about the usual content on the box. The G Pro 2 adopts a similar design policy to the G2, including the very popular power button on the back, plus the volume buttons here. They see when a notification comes, your notification LED light here as well as the power button there glows up. Now this has been very popular and very well received in case of the G2, because this is an ergonomically in a perfect place for your fingers here, which actually you do not have to loosen up your grip here, you don't have to hunt for a button on the side here. You hold the phone like this anyway, and almost at this place the power button is there. It's just that we just find the volume buttons are kind of too close with the power button. So at times when I'm in a hurry, at times I end up pressing the low button when I wanted to press the high button. But that's kind of okay. I'm getting used to it, because this layout, if you're coming from a different phone, will take a little getting used to, because you'll always be hunting for buttons here. Anyway, that's a very good position, and one of the design triumphs actually for LG. So you have a very glossy 5.9-inch full HD true IPS display on top, and they are very cheesily designed actually. You see all those shimmering kind of a design on top, which also extends below there, also on the side. Yeah, almost kind of give me an impression that this phone is made for someone who actually likes a very, very flashy phone. On top you have the earpiece here, your 2.1 MP or 2.2 MP, 2.1 MP I think, 2.1 MP front camera, a notification light and proximity sensors. Your shortcut keys are on the display, LG branding there. Nothing at all on this side. Here you have your mouthpiece, micro USB 2.0 port. Again, nothing on this side. You have a hole to open the back flap door. On top you have the IO Blaster secondary noise cancelling mic, and then your 3.5mm jack. It's the back side where all the fun is. You have your 13 MP autofocus camera accompanied by an LED flash. There your power button and the volume control buttons that I showed you. This guy supports 4G LTE, and then LG branding again, and then your speaker with a slight bump, which I don't think should be enough to let the whole of the sound come out when you keep the device on a flat surface. But we'll just have to test this out. Now the phone, for a 5.9-inch phone, it's quite light. However, it's light mainly because it's all plastic and then this glass thing. You see, the front side is very, very glossy. That you can see all those smudges and fingerprints and stuff. The back side has a very L series kind of a look. You have that metal mesh kind of a design, although the back flap is actually plastic, and although it does not attract fingerprints and oil, but then it slips, and the phone is actually it almost just about comes in your hand. It's very hard to hold, and it's obvious that a device this big will have to be used most of the time with two hands. So you're gonna just open the back flap and show you the batteries and stuff. So you have that 3200 mAh battery, a micro SIM slot, only one, and then your micro SD card slot there. The back flap is not very rugged, but it's not too flimsy either. So overall, the LG G Pro 2 has the looks in place, but I'm not too sure about the build quality here. The G Pro 2 is powered by Android 4.4.2 KitKat, the latest one. Plus you have LG's custom skin on top, which goes really deep into the stock ROM. However, before you switching up or before you light up the phone, you can actually do multiple things. For example, you can of course unlock it from just by tapping this button, or you can also unlock the phone just by tapping this twice. You can again make it go to sleep, slide in, and then you can, if you have set up your knock code, you can also place your knock code here and then unlock the phone. Apart from that, there are two shortcuts that are triggered by the volume keys also. So when you long hold the up key, you actually see, come to the Q note there. Also, when you long press the volume down key, you actually trigger the camera straight away. So those are some of the things that you can do even without lighting up the phone, even without unlocking the phone. Now let's go ahead and check out the unlock screen. So you have unlock screen, there is no camera button, no shortcut button. On the right side you have all these shortcut keys. You can straight away drag them up, and one of the best unlock screen that we've loved, that actually kind of just reveals what's beneath it. You can also add various widgets out there, and then notification bar slides down even on top of the unlock screen, and then you slowly unlock it to go to the home screen. So you have up to 7 home screen. You can also set any of the home screen as the default home screen. Then your notification bar, those are all the notification bar. You can clear all of them just by tapping this. Then your vibration and the brightness level here, quick function toggle bar, and your Q slide apps. You can also sort them according to however you want it. Similarly the case with the function toggle bar. Yeah, and then that's your overall home page. Now before going into a detail of the user interface, let's check out the display ones. It's one of the best displays that we have seen. 5.9 inch full HD and true IPS display. When you look at very closely, you would see that the icons are crisp. They are so crisp, they are not at all pixelated. They're amazing. And if you go to the gallery and show you on the picture, so that's some of the picture of the color card that we took, and then that's the actual color card. So let's compare how it shows, and you would see it shows the gray here slightly different. Yeah, so the white balance is not exactly proper of the display. However, this part and the other parts are kind of just about fine. The pink here is different, you see. This is different. This is not exactly your natural color display, but then it comes pretty close to our color card here. Also, the viewing angles are so amazing thanks to the true IPS display. See, you can almost go 180 degree and you can still see what's in there. It's an amazing display. Let's go ahead and slow down the reduce down the brightness, sorry, and show you how it looks there. See, quite dark but not dark enough. Then that's auto. Yeah, and then that's the maximum. So in maximum it does not exactly washes out the color, some part in there, but then for most of the part it's just about fine. Yeah, so that's the display quality. It's one of the best displays that we've seen. So coming back to the user interface, you can long press here and you can add various apps and widgets and wallpaper. You can do the same thing by going on there. You can also go to the home screen settings and lock screen and system settings. So those are the app dock, those are the app that will see. Dropbox is ours, but apart from that all are preloaded. You get your default Google Android apps to see, and then you also get some utility apps and LG's in-house apps, a lot of them, like remote call services. You have quick remote, LG Smart World, and all the apps that LG gives in our flagships are here. You also have some popular third-party app like there's a Polaris Viewer 5 or Box and those kinds. So let's first check the settings. So you first have your connection settings and then your sounds and stuff. Nothing much to show there. Home screen, lock screen, and this is a unique thing, so I want to show you. So these buttons here, they have made a good use of soft buttons here on this display. Now because they're on the display, you can actually change the arrangement of the button. There, see, you can actually go ahead and, for example, I want the recent app menu, I can simply drag it up there and they will appear here, which is very convenient. So we used to hate the buttons on the screen because that kind of eats up that real estate. However, the G Pro 2 actually makes you think like that's for good. So that's one thing we really love. But from there, the brightness and some other usual settings. Yeah, then your storage, so you have what, 8.57 GB. You have slightly more because we have our songs and videos and all the photos, and also I assume you have a slightly over 9.5 GB available. You can add this many accounts and then your about phone section, and you can go ahead and you can see it runs on Android 4.4.2, nothing wired G Pro 2. So that's a overall walkthrough. The user interface is absolutely smooth, buttery smooth, no lag whatsoever. How much ever multitasking you do, you can see there are a hell lot of apps that we've opened on the background. Still, the phone performs admirably. The phone performs absolutely flawlessly, seamlessly. So you can long press here, and I showed you the recent app menu will come up. You can clear all by just like that. You can also go to task manager from here. Long press on the menu key, nothing happened. Long press on the back key and you get to the multi-window feature. And multi-window meaning you can open two window, one on top and one on bottom. So you can simply, let's say, drag the first window up, and then you can drag the second app below, and there you see it opens two window on the same display. Now let's go ahead and check out some of the system apps. So we'll start with the dialer. Very big dialer thanks to the big screen. I also want to show you the keyboard. Again, absolutely amazing keyboard. Good enough space in between. This way it actually becomes too large for the fingers, but anyway, so absolutely no problem in typing fast. They are very big keys, and plus the dedicated number row on top, it's absolutely icing on the cake. Apart from that, those are utilities, so it don't have much to say there. Your usual file managers and stuff. The browser, so that's how a web page appears. So ours is a responsive website, so even if you have a desktop website, it will appear exactly as you would have seen it on your desktop. And you see absolutely no lag, it's so smooth. Even the pinching zoom is perfect. You can double tap to zoom in or out a bit, just about. And then we also did an HTML5 test, and it scores incredible. 505 out of 555. That's a bloody awesome score. You have all the usual settings. Let's go to the gallery, and usual gallery layout all are arranged in stack. You can go to the camera and you'll see all the images are also in this stack. You can observe slight lag there, but that's only very rarely occurs. You can go ahead, you can have all these options. You can go to edit, you can crop, rotate, and you can auto enhance picture and whatnot. You can also share any picture, multiple pictures that you can share by all these means. Yeah. Let's come to the 13MP autofocus camera. Now this is one of the USPs of the device, because this 13MP autofocus camera has an LED flash, which is usual, but it also has an optical image stabilization, which is much more advanced and faster than the usual stabilization you would see on a phone. Now it also has a multi-point focus system. Now whenever they see it has that multi-point, so it also focuses that much faster. Now let's see how fast it focuses. See, it's actually quite fast. I'll bring it here. It's too much for the minimum distance, I guess. So there is a minimum distance. You cannot bring a subject beyond that, but other than that, it focuses almost instantly. Very fast. Yeah. So let's check out the UI. Once you have your flash settings, the front and back button toggle, then you have your normal and magic focus, so where you can focus the center object or the object that you want to focus in, and then blur the background. You have HDR panorama, VR panorama, that's like 360-degree panorama, burst shot, and some other usual stuff. Apart from that, you also have the settings: 13MP in 4:3, 10MP in widescreen. You have ISO up to 800. You have all this white balance and stuff. Yeah, and let's click some pictures. surprisingly it lags. It's not exactly lag free. Yeah. It also takes about a second, more than a second, to process an image. And you can go to video, then you can start recording video from there. You can also still click stills from here. Yeah. The G Pro 2 actually gives us one of the best image and video quality that I have seen in recent times in all of the smartphones. In fact, it actually quite matches and even better some of the entry-level point and shoot dedicated cameras. Now, talking about the images first, the saturation and hue is not exactly natural. The hue is fine, but saturation is not exactly natural at some color points. You can see the color card, you'll see that the pink part and the gray part is slightly different, and that's not only because of the display. It actually shows the saturation slightly altered, but on the inner flight the images are amazingly detailed. Even at 100% you can make out the info, and the information is not lost much. And if you can see these sunflower photos, they were actually, it was fast wind and they weren't this still, but then thanks to the optical image stabilization I could actually freeze them perfectly. Apart from that, the metering is also quite good also, although not perfect. The HDR, well, is not exactly the best we've seen. The dynamic range is average. The color rendition, well, fine, and the aperture, maximum aperture is f by 2.4. You do not exactly get bokeh and stuff because that's kind of depends on the lens, and this not exactly lens of that category. However, you can actually blur the background naturally up to some extent, and of course you have the selective focus, or you can make the background blur even after clicking the snap. And that's the provision here. Under low light, images are also surprisingly very good, and there is very little noise even at ISO 800. We are really surprised by this smartphone image quality, and moreover they actually do not do much noise reduction, because you cannot see the noise here and there. And even when you blow up the images, even at 100%, you would not see the pixel overlapping or smearing because of that excessive noise reduction. Amazing low quality photo. You can see some of the photos where there are almost no light, but then the noise check is almost perfect. It's and even the borders of all the colors, there are no smearing, nothing. Perfect. And it's one of the best, probably one of the top 3 cameras that we've seen in smartphone market right now. Next we'll check out the music app and we'll see the music quality, but before that I'll just show you the UI. The usual UI, nothing much really. The sound output via speaker is loud enough, and it also has good amount of bass, so we are impressed by the sound quality via speaker. The sound gets obstructed slightly when you keep this device on the flat surface, but thankfully not much. The sound output via earphones are much better than the speakers, and they are very bass heavy and bass enhanced and perfectly treble. Even the sound output via speaker actually is quite good. We'll also check out the video performance and see how it fares in terms of the audio and the video playback overall. We have the brightness set to auto. So it's fine, but I found that it's not as loud as the music output via the music app. And however, there is a perfect sync between the video and audio. The sound becomes quite flat when you place the device on a flat surface. It's a Q slide app, so of course you can go and you can minimize the size of the device. You can also resize it as you want. Also maximize it. So yeah, overall even the video performance is good enough. However, it's not as loud and as proper as the music. So that's the user interface. Really absolutely no lag in performance, as I told you before. Android, KitKat and the LG custom skin on top. We also tried some gaming, and this guy is an amazing gaming machine as well. We've prepared a separate video. You can see the gameplay performance there, but then it played all art test games without even breaking a sweat. It's amazing. Well, let's talk about some good and then some bad things about this device. The G Pro 2, the best thing according to me is its camera. The still and video performance are just out of ordinary. It's one thing. It's again a very good gameplay machine, and it's very powerful, so there is absolutely no lag whatsoever. Absolutely flagship quality, and even the display is one of the best displays that we've seen. If I have to single out a bad thing, then it's probably the construction quality. This guy really feels very plasticky, and also but I cannot really blame LG for that. It's a big 5.9 inch screen, and 5.9 inch screen is actually beyond the threshold of for your palm to be able to hold a phone. Generally, I think so. 5.9 inch, it's quite big. However, for a 5.9 inch, you see the bezels are quite thin, so LG has actually managed to keep the device, the overall frame quite similar to the display size, but still in general 5.9 inch device is actually too big for your palm. So those could be the two negative points. Now let's talk about the competition before at the price point. So this the LG G Pro 2 is available in India on Amazon.in for about 45,800 rupees, and on Amazon.com in US for about $590, and in the UK on Amazon.co.uk you'll get it for about £448. At this price range, only the flagships exist. So you have LG's own G2. I would probably prefer this over the G2, and you should too if screen is not a criteria. If you really want a bigger screen, then definitely this one wins. Unless you want a smaller screen, you want a phone that you can really hold pretty well, and that kind of goes in nicer in your pocket, then probably you would prefer the G2, but otherwise this guy wins. Apart from that, it also has one of Samsung's best, the Note 3. Now comparing with the Note 3 is really interesting. There's one thing definitely better than the Note 3 is the camera quality. Again, the build quality of the Note 3, well, the Note 3 is also all plastic, but then that looks more premium than this one thanks to the Fox leather cover on the back. That also feels very comfortable and secured in hand. The display on the Note 3 and the one on the G Pro 2 are almost similar. Cannot compare them much. Both are very similar in terms of the specs and stuff. So really it's about your preference really, then the difference probably would come down to the look if I have to really single out a difference. You also have HTC M8, which also comes close, and that's one of the best phones right now. You also have, of course, the Z2. So there are a lot of flagships, and it's very hard to actually differentiate this guy from those. It's very hard to actually give preference to any flagship over other flagship, because all the respective manufacturers put everything they have into their flagships. If there is one thing I want to single out on the G Pro 2 that probably brings it right to the top of the competition if you want to, then it will have to be the camera quality of the device, and also the gaming probably to a large extent. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please ask anything related to this phone and we'll try to answer those, and please subscribe to Nothing Wired channel for more such awesome content in future.